Here we are. Back to the show. Let's let some internet people know that we're on the internet doing a show. As soon as I can find my... where did my LinkedIn go? Let's see. We are live. What are we doing? We are going to do some Apex data weave performance and some more rock, paper, scissors, I think. All right, let's get a link out there. I had a link. Where'd it go? Twitch, I can't spell that. Is that working? Let's see. Okay, we are live. Cool, it's working. All right, well, we missed last week because I was not about to compete with Trailblazer DX. That was quite the show. Hope y'all got a look at that. There's a lot of goodies. I'm still trying to process all the goodies. I don't have anything from Trailblazer DX for today, but next week I think yes, probably maybe. I'm gonna turn a light on so y'all can mostly see my beard. Hey, look at that! Wow. Okay. Beard check. Trailblazer DX check. Tune in next week, and I'm gonna steal from some other people's top 5 Trailblazer DX stuff and see what's worth looking at. A lot of Chat GPT stuff floating around, and it's coming. It's coming to the show. It's coming to all of us. None of it. We can't avoid it, and we have to embrace our robot overlords who speak to us in factual statements when asked appropriately worded questions. But until then, let's. I went down a rabbit hole with Apex and data weave, and I wanted to muck around a little bit more with this the CSV process. So in doing so, I came up with a couple of toys and knickknacks that we can take a look at, and also found a decent generator of Salesforce data called what was it called? Mockaroo. I thought this was pretty sweet. It's not on screen. Let me bring this over. So if you don't know about Mockaroo, it's just a mock data service, and you can create whatever fake data that you want. And it's nice because it's like super fake, right? Like it's not pretending to be anything that you don't want it to be. So you don't have to worry about inappropriate names or things like that. It's just I thought it was super useful for what did I do? I created so when you create a Mockaroo account, this is not an ad for Mockaroo. I'm like not sponsored or anything like that. I just thought it was cool. I want to share. When you sign up, you can create your own schemas. So basically your own columns of data. So I created one for a Salesforce account, and I was just mucking around here, right? But I was testing like, hey, if I want to have an external ID field on my account, it'll give me a GUID. If I pick a name, if I want a name, it can give me a company name. And that's pretty specific. Like when you go in and choose some of these types, like you can get pretty deep here, right? So it's not just me saying, give me a string of weird characters. It's like, no, give me company names and, or give me URLs that are legit. So they have this whole library of different types of data types that you can pick from to fill your schema with. Airport names, I guess, if I wanted that, you can, there's tons in here. You can go crazy. Probably car VINs, interesting. Random VIN, not real. Credit card numbers, I'm sure those are bogus as well. But lots of pretty cool stuff in here, I think. Like, I'm looking at this, so I came in and said, all right, I need some fake data. I'm taking a long way to the story here, but bear with me. I need some fake data. I want 10,000 accounts to insert into Salesforce, and I want to do it with, I want to try it with DataWeave, see how that performs. And then I want to try it with just Apex, old school Apex, write some code that parses some CSV data. Now, I'm not actually doing the push, right? So performance-wise, we're not even testing the insert. What I really wanted to test was the performance of creating an instance of the DataWeave objects, telling it to process and get the results into a list of accounts, which is ultimately like walking up to the next step of actually submitting the data. So rewind back to Mockaroo. I built a schema, picked some fields that seemed useful. I didn't want to have a giant, a wide data set. I just want to have a very tall data set, 10,000 records, 6 fields, nothing crazy. Mockaroo, very cool for being able to go in and pick, relevant data sets. And actually, if I preview this, the preview speaks 1,000 words. So here's the generated data set for accounts. This external ID is just a GUID. I haven't really done anything with it. I just want to see if it was going to work. The names, these are all company names. So yes, these are bona fide companies in the world. I don't know if they're publicly traded or what, but it felt safe enough to use as mock data. Like I'm not affiliated with any of these organizations. They exist in the world. It is what it is. I picked a website. Again, these are not correlated. So the sample data is, this Zuvio, obviously their website is not sfin.com. So it's just picking random sets from its known set of data to pass into these things. The country, I have no idea if they're in China. They probably aren't. But again, it has a two character country list. I pulled a state where I could. It does states, it does provinces, and then it does cities, right? So it's got a data, a database for all of these things. It was really easy to come in and create the data. A couple of limitations, right? You can only pull 1,000 records at a time on a free account. So keep that in mind. But they also have an API. So that's neat because every time you create a schema, you get an API endpoint for that schema. And then if I go over to wherever my Salesforce is here. I think I wrote a dumb little script that would get my data for me. Let's see. Get sample account data. Yeah, here you go. So this is hitting that schema API endpoint to pull Salesforce accounts. And I'm getting around the 1,000 record limit by just calling it 10 times. Very, very fancy. I'm sure I probably could have used a loop or something, but I'm not that good at scripting. So there you have it. But I pulled these down, just wrote it to an account CSV. One thing that was interesting, there's a bunch of, the API is very well documented. Let me see if I can find that. Here, yes, API reference. So very, very, very complete. Lots of parameters you can pass. The only thing that was weird is I tried to pass this include header, and I wanted it set to false. So I tried to do that, but it still gave me the header data when it came out. So I had to just go through my file and clean that stuff out. But not a big deal. I might be doing something wrong. For all I know, I'm probably doing something wrong. But here's the data set as it came out, and I ran my script 10 times, and boop, got 10,001 rows because we got a header row in here. But there you go. There's 10,000 rows of bogus account data, and you might want to check out Mockaroo for your own purposes. And I don't know, maybe you can't do that on Salesforce. We'll like do some stuff out here. Somebody's probably already done stuff. I didn't look see if anybody else had other stuff, Salesforcey stuff out here. But there you go. Cool side effect of all this. So what now? All right. Well, we've got this record. I'm sorry. This data set. We got 10,000. We got ourselves 10,000 accounts. And what are we going to do with these 10,000 accounts? Well, let's try importing them into Salesforce. Not importing to Salesforce. Let's parse this file and get ready to push it into Salesforce. So 2 ways of doing that. I will get this code up into GitHub eventually. Oh, hey, I got a rando chat post from some robots that want to, I don't know, sell me something. So we're gonna ignore that. Okay, so here's some code. Right, we've got data weave sample. Done a couple of things in here. I'll explain what this ticker stuff is in here in a second. But I wanted to test 2 things. I wanted to first do some performance evaluation. This is not crazy scientific, right? Obviously, I'm like writing Apex code to measure Apex code, which thereby means the Apex code is being influenced by the code. You get the idea. But I still wanted to have a way to just like parse out without going through debug logs and all that craziness. Something that would more cleanly just kind of kick out some performance data, millisecond level kind of stuff. So I wrote this class called Ticker, which lets you create a new stopwatch, if you will, start it, add to it, attribute what's going on at any given moment, and it just stamps times into a collection, and then you can spit it all out at the end. So we'll see how that works. But we're doing 2 things. We have two commands here. We've got CSV data weave, so we're going to use that CSV file that we just created, which I have uploaded into Salesforce as a file. So that was the other thing that I wanted to do here, was have it pull the file from Salesforce, just because why not, self-contained. Pull the file from Salesforce, and then use the data weave functions first to see how this would perform and upload. Not upload, parse, sorry. So what we're doing is we're in both cases. So let me back up. We've also got the manual approach to this, which is more kind of old school comma delimit parsing stuff, which I ran into an interesting problem that's probably not unique to me. I found some articles about it online, and we can talk through that too. But there's some when the file gets when your CSV data set gets too big, Apex has a panic attack and doesn't know how to parse it, and you have to do some things that you wouldn't expect to do to get around that. Nothing catastrophic, but got to work within the bounds of the system. So anyway, we've got so that's our manual approach. We'll step through that. Data weave's a little smaller because, well, everything's kind of done for us, and we can test out this performance. So we're gonna get the CSV data. Both methods are using that same call. Get CSV is just going and getting the record that I put in, the content version record that I insert. It's called accounts. It's the name of our file. There should only be one of them, and then it's bringing back the version data and just converting it to a string. So nothing crazy there. Once we have that, then in this case we're creating an instance of our specific data weave script, which we wrote we wrote a version of it last time we met, and this time we did the context version. I stole that and replicated it as an accounts version because that's our test. Map the relevant fields: name, website, country, city, state, and we're using that now. So that's going to get initialized and measure that, right? So you see in here I've got ticker. We'll open up ticker in a second. In fact, let's just open up ticker now so we can explain it. So this little class is just keeps track of time, right? And lets you align some string to that time. So we've got we have two methods exposed. We have one called tick, and tick takes a string so that you can explain or describe the time in question, and then it basically just tracks milliseconds from there. Does some math and gives us some output. We'll see what the output looks like. It sort of shows the output since the last command, or the output since the last time we tracked the tick, and then the total time, the total running time since you created an instance. The total time since you first ticked to the time that you last ticked. It will show that as in running order. So I'm no expert in metrology or any kind of performance stuff, but this felt easier than trying to look at debug logs and all that jazz. So, we'll check it out. We'll see it in action here in a second. So back over here, that's what all these, so ticker t.tick, we're just describing what we just did essentially in each of these steps. So we're instantiating our CSV to accounts class method data weave script here. And then we're executing that script with our CSV data. That's what it expects, and that comes in here. That's the records piece of the script, and we're telling it what it is. It's a CSV. And then when that comes back, we track that we received it, and then we track that we're converting that result into a list of accounts, and we can see the account list get created, and then we just log everything, kick it all out. Do all of that exactly the same, but now with manual mode. So create a new ticker so that we can keep track of our time, get our CSV data, and then I'll talk about CSV manual to rows because that's where the work happens. I actually pull off the first row of data because that represents our headers. For our experiment, we don't need the headers. We're just going to iterate through. So whereas CSV data returns us a list of accounts, down here in CSV manual, we've got to create that list of accounts ourselves. So you've got our account list. We're going to loop through our rows. And then here we're just doing a simple split on the rows. I know that CSV is way more complicated than that in reality, but we'll just keep it simple. Looping over our rows, we're adding to the list, mapping the fields, basically doing everything that the data weave script does, just manually, and then we get our results. Now, here's where things get fun. The CSV manual to rows, I popped this out as its own function because it just got a little bit more involved. Passing the CSV data, that's the string of CSV data with line breaks, new line characters in it. And I ran into this. I don't have the I don't have the original error that I ran into, but this is not new. Let's see, this was what this was like 2010. So this is this is pretty vintage. But the regex's too complicated when CSV string data is too large. So and I hit exactly what this was describing. I was just trying to do a simple split on new line characters. So my goal was pass in this giant string that represents the CSV data, split on the new line, end up with a 10,000 item row or list of strings. Each one is its own row, and then do everything else that we're doing after that. Well, ran into this regex too complicated thing. There were a lot of approaches to how to handle this, and this was the one that I sort of derived off of. I didn't quite follow this approach, but what I ended up doing was really just looking for the so loop, in a loop, find the first index of a new line character. So row 1, new line at the end, and then do my own split on that, but only returning that row's data, everything before the new line character. So then I would take that data and add it to a list of rows, and then substring from where that was, and essentially shrink the string each time. So this code would, if it was working on our accounts data, it would say, find me the new line. Okay, it's here. It's hidden, but you get the idea. Find me the new line. Okay, found it. Return everything before that. Okay, did that. Now substring this whole string, basically. Substring this whole string after the new line. And then boom, repeat. Salesforce was cool with that. Apex was cool with that. I think because, there's, for whatever's happening with, if I was to just split on the new line, there's 10,000 new line characters in that file, and that was just wasn't having it. So we were running into the regex too complicated issue. So there you go. There were other approaches to this, probably smarter than what I did, but I kind of took the easy way out there and got our data the way we needed. So and then this just sort of burns out until I've actually just have this kind of running infinitely, but there's a break in here that if there is no new line character, essentially that means you've gotten to the end of the file and there's nothing else to to parse. So break, escape, boom, done, and then we've got our rows. So we've got, and then that gets called up above, and then we step through the rows and do the whole thing. So, all right, enough talk. You guys probably get the idea what we're up to here. So let's see what happens. I've got 2 commands down here. This is the data weave sample and the data weave manual. This is with ticker, so ticker is going to kick out some results for us, and we'll see what that looks like. And I have a file over here that I don't really care about anymore. Let's create a new file, and and we'll store all of our results here and see how we perform. I feel like I'm building all this up, and something's bound to go wrong here in live television. Let's do manual first, I guess. So I'm going to make a note here. Manual round 1. We'll put some stuff around this. Oops. Probably could even have Ticker do some of this for us. But all right, let's. Here's a round of manual generation of from CSV file to account list in Salesforce. Take 1. Let's see. Okay. Here's our output. It's from our first round. So we can, if we walk through this, we can see what happened. So ticker did its thing. We initialized, or we stepped into this this method. So we initialized here, got our CSV data in 600 milliseconds, created our row, and you can so the first number in ticker is how long since the last report, and then the second value in ticker is how long in total. So 600 milliseconds to get our data from our CSV file. Took us 4,000 milliseconds to create the rows. 4 seconds. That's that's a lot. It's a lot of data. And then it only took another 600 milliseconds to generate the account list, which is that's pretty good for cranking through 10,000 records. So let's run this a few more times and just see if it gets weirder. Let's do 5. We'll run 5 times. Okay. Okay, take 2. So manual take 2. And here we go again. So data retrieved much faster that time. Rows created also faster. List created a little bit slower. I don't know enough about the voodoo sauce of the Salesforce platform to say what kind of caching happens, if that file, if the CSV file is now cached and therefore it's performing faster. That could definitely be the variability in the rows being created. There's like a 1.5 second difference there. Resource availability. We're in a shared we're in a multi-tenant environment, so who knows what that is. But let's there's round 2. So let's do we'll do 3 more here real quick. Just kind of crank through them. All right, here's round 3. Even faster still. Let's do round 4. Like it also, that's why I know this is not completely scientific, but useful to see and be able to fire off some tests quickly. Now here we're taking a hot second. Let's see what happened. Nope, it just took a second because it took a second to get back to me. So that was good. And round 5. No, I don't think I need a Python module. Okay, so there's 5 rounds of manual processing for data CSV file. And I think I'm going to sneeze. Might be sneezing. Excuse me. Okay. We could probably drop this into a spreadsheet and do a little bit of math on it. Maybe we will do that. But our numbers, where did we end up? 53, 57, 32. So maybe 4 seconds total on average, 4.5 seconds for the manual process. Now let's look at data weave. I'll make a new file just so we can sort of see them kind of side by side. All right, data weave coming up. Faster? Slower? What do you think? I don't know. We're going to find out. I know what the answer is, but I want to keep you surprised. Data weave is running. So I think this is taking longer. Quite a bit longer. Uh-oh. So long we had a system error. This was working before the show, and maybe we'll have to come back to it to see what's going on. I'm gonna run it again. I hope we just had a glitch in the matrix there. This is beta too, so just to be fair, maybe DataWeave is just having a hard time today. That could definitely be it. Yeah, we got errors when we're trying to. Let's see, where is it blowing up? It's blowing up on line 40, which is I think here. So I'm getting the result. So just for grins, let's comment this other stuff out for a second and make sure we can actually initialize our script and there's not something funky going on there. I don't think there is, but just to be sure. This was working, so maybe we don't have it working for us right now. Okay, so how did we do here? Well, we couldn't get all of it, but I think this is also kind of, maybe this in and of itself is kind of telling. Like we're just initializing the DataWeave script. It took almost 12 seconds, right? So that in and of itself might be kind of telling what's going on here. So let's run another round. We're not getting to the other, we're not even getting to the step of we're getting this far. Oops. We're getting this far. So we're initializing the script. We're not actually executing the script yet. 12 seconds to initialize a DataWeave script is what it seemed, what that run looked like. So let's do it again. Let's see. We'll do it 3 times because I think we can kind of see what's going on here. Now again, maybe there's some issues happening, but this is running definitely slower. Definitely slower to get the DataWeave script started up. There's round 2, 15 seconds almost. So we're kind of going in the opposite direction here. Nothing different with collecting our CSV data. That has nothing to do with the DataWeave process. But let's run this one more time. A little faster that time. So maybe again there's some caching going on or something. But still 9 seconds to initialize. I'm gonna give this one more try. Bring our other steps back and see if we can get some data. And I'm just gonna check real quick, guys. I want to make sure the audio is working here. Let's see. Yep. Audio's good on the stream. All right, we saved that and try one more time. So the question is it are we getting an error because we're taking too long, or are we getting an error because we or just running too slow? Or I'm sorry, is it running too slow, or is there something inherently wrong on the platform with this? So what we could do is log in here, update our accounts file, and maybe just make it half the size. So maybe it just doesn't perform at 10,000 records, although it was working for me before. Let's try that. Let's reduce the size of the file. We'll take this. We'll call this accounts 2. Let's call it accounts underscore 5,000 so we know what it actually is meant for. And we'll go up to, we'll go up to 5,001. Go to here. Okay. And over here in our org, I'm not doing anything fancy with the files at all. I'm just literally plopping them into files. So let's find one to upload here. There's accounts 5,000. So this should be half the size. And we'll try with that. Okay, got that. So we'll update our script to look for accounts underscore 5,000. That's our file name. Okay, and let's see if that works. If a 5,000 record file works with DataWeave, and if not, I'm going to drop it down to like 10, and make sure it works at all. Because this maybe something's going on here that I'm just not seeing. But we had this. I had this set up beforehand, and I think we were good. So let's try this now. Okay, so we might have a volume issue. Let's see what's going on here. This was with 5,000. So first of all, we may just have a problem. And let's see. Let's call this round 4 5,000. All right. So initialize, retrieve. Those are fine. The script initializing, that definitely takes a while. The initializing actually takes longer than receiving the data. And can't say if this is a linear number, right? So we dropped this down to 5,000 records instead of 10,000. Was that part of the reason why we were able to make this work? I don't know. But here we are, and we're also getting some kicking and screaming from Salesforce that we're close to, in fact, over our CPU limit. And what's interesting, again, this is not scientific, but it's curious, and we'll run this a couple more times. It's curious that whatever numbers I'm checking from a milliseconds perspective, they don't all seem to apply to processing time on the platform, which I think is kind of interesting. So if there's it seems like if I measure a process that takes 14 seconds and the CPU time is 11 and a half seconds, where'd the other 2.5 seconds go? Somewhere. Again, somewhere smarter than me, the platform is doing something with it. So there you go. But edging up on the CPU limit here. Let's run it again. We'll run another one at 5,000. And then maybe we'll run a couple manual ones at 5,000 as well, just so we can see the difference there. Okay, how do we do this time? So about the same, 13 and a half seconds. Let's see. Yep. Nominal changes in the data retrieval. That script That script just takes forever to initialize. 10 plus seconds is a safe bet, and it's not really clear how much of that like you take a hit against the CPU time. But I'm gonna guess it's probably pretty consistent, right? There isn't a world where because we haven't done anything to like at this juncture in our steps, we're not processing data. We're just initializing the script. So that's it could be it may not matter what the size of the data is because we haven't gotten there yet. So what is so okay, so we ran a couple of those. Let's say this was round 5 with 5,000 records. I want to do a couple of these with the manual data, or the manual process, I should say. Let's just see how that changes when we half our data size. All right, let's test this out. Okay, well, that was quick. I'm not gonna even capture it. Let's just do it again. 1100 milliseconds. This, 5,000. It's what's interesting is I guess we're indirectly doing some other performance analysis here too. Like, it only takes a second for a 5,000 record file, but it goes up to, well, maybe it's not that tragic. I'm sorry, I thought it was more significant than that, but maybe it's not. If this is running at this was 5,000 rows, 1.7 seconds, versus 10,000 rows, 5.3, 3.7, total time. So yeah, that seems a little bit more linear, but I mean, 5,000 records in 1 second versus almost having a heart attack with 5,000 records with the DW script. So what does this tell me? Like, does this mean that data weave is bad? No, it just means that it runs slower, right? It probably, the trade-offs that we're making there are, I don't have to do dumb stuff with data weaver like this, which is backflips and workarounds for CSV parsing. It seems like I can just throw it a file and it will be happy with it. I haven't done much experimenting in that case with end lines and new lines and BOMs. I'll pretend like I know what that means. I really don't. I've seen it a couple times, but I know that CSV files can be complex. It would be interesting to see what can you throw at data weave, right? And have it generate and just not miss a beat. So this also tells me, like, this is not, data weave is not the player for synchronous work. This kind of thing needs to go to a batch job or go to a queuable or something like that has a little bit more processing time. We don't care how fast it runs as long as it runs eventually. Those sorts of scenarios. That's still, again, I think a valid player. It's also in beta, right? So if it's in beta, who knows if it's underperforming right now because it's being tested. Maybe Salesforce is throttling its performance intentionally because it's in beta and they don't want it to be a resource hog relative to other things. They probably want all of us monkeying around with it for a little while to decide, oh, okay, this performs at a reasonable pace amongst all these other people, or all these other processes running on the platform. And maybe they'll come to determine that it can be turned up, and I know it makes it that simple, right? They just turn the knob and it makes everything go faster. But, that's my shorthand analysis of data weave. I wouldn't assume that my numbers are crazy scientifically accurate, but there's obviously a difference in comparing a manual job versus the data weave process. And ticker. This was a fun side effect of doing this work. It was a classic case of, you get to the point of writing enough debug logs, you get sick of it. So this was kind of fun. I think this could be fun too to maybe throw like some governor limit um, checks in here. So we have our ticks, which is just milliseconds since a time. It'd be interesting to put side by side the well how whatever the CPU limit and other limit checks that the platform allows us to run in here somehow as well. So maybe I'll take that as something else to do. And yeah, Mockaroo, man, that was what do they charge for this guy? $60 a year for 100,000 rows of file. That's not bad. $5 a month would be it could be useful to maybe we can create some more schemas for Salesforce stuff here and handle. I don't know if these schemas are like now publicly available. Well, I guess I could find out if I copy this link and open up a incognito window. Where can I go? No, that's a 404 for me if I'm not logged in. So I'll show y'all. Okay, so I don't know if you can publish a schema. It'd be cool if you could. I wonder if I need a particular account for that. I have this in a so you can make projects in Mockaroo. So maybe I can make my own data sets. I don't really need to do that here. Could I tell it that my project is public? No, but I can share it. So you can share it with people. I don't know if that means they need to have a Mockaroo account. Probably does, right? You can't just put it out there in the wild. But so you can't. Oh no. Here you go. Here's a public URL. All right. Hold on. Is this really public? Let's see. New incognito window. Yeah. Okay. Wait, I'm not logged in. Sorry, wrong screen. So here's the public URL for that. So I'm not logged in. I can actually make changes to this if you want, right? Like I can go in and say state ZZZZ. And if I preview that, so I assume this is just kind of like a local. Yeah, so I can. I don't think I'm saving that. No, I can download. Can I save changes? Really? Let's see. Okay. No. Okay. Before I continue, you must. Okay. And then I don't know if I save that, if it's then available to. Is that saved for everybody, or I don't know enough about Mockaroo to to answer these questions. But I think it's cool, and I don't know, maybe you can't do that in Salesforce. We'll produce and publish a few of these for all of our viewing pleasure. Let's see if I do Salesforce Mockaroo. I didn't even think to do this. Creating dummy data. Hey, Salesforce Ben. There you go. Everything I just told you, probably here over on the Salesforce Ben article. But maybe we can produce some from Salesforce schemas for everyone. Yeah, so not a new app, but honestly, you kind of forget that these things exist sometimes. So there you go. There's Mockaroo, and we'll push everything. This is episode 2, but we're technically still working in the episode 1 project. So I don't know. Maybe this will just be a whole season 2 project and repository that we can put everything into. So, all right, that's DataWeave performance. Take a quick break. I'm gonna grab a drink because I sense the voice is getting crunchy here, but we will come back and pick up rock paper scissors in just a moment. So I'm gonna mute the mic and be right back. and I'll leave a note for y'all. And we're back. I have an apple that I don't know if y'all are going to be able to hear me eat, and I got some water because I talk a lot and don't want to choke. So, welcome, welcome back. We're right back. What are we doing? Let's see, stage set change. We're gonna close this. We've done our Mockaroo. I think that's what I need to have open there. Where's my other screen? We are looking for Visual Studio Code. We are specifically looking for rock, paper, scissors. There we go. All right. Let's build it. Let's build some more of it. When last we met, we were not in the right org. Close that. This looks a little better. What we got in here? All right. We got rock, paper, scissors. We don't need this anymore. That's gone. And I think we fixed most of our problems yesterday. yesterday, last week. I still want to eat this apple, but I'm not going to torture you all with me eating an apple. But I'm probably gonna. I'm gonna lose my mind and get hungry and start crunching away over here. So where were we? We've got games. I think we need a couple more players in rock paper scissors because just to mix it up a little bit. So let's now. I think when I created this org, I think I actually created it as a dev org, and I was running into an issue creating more users. Um, let's see what's our allocation here. We've got room for. Well, we've got 2 years. We create a platform user. We could do that. Let's see if I can do that. I think I ran the. I think I tried to run the script from. Oh wait, U3. We'll call this person U3. And U3 looks like a good nickname. What did we have in our other users? We'll just say. Let's use a platform license. Definitely needs to be a flow user. Get this on Eastern time so I don't completely confuse myself. If I can find it. Wow. I feel like I'm going cross-eyed in here. There it is. All right, so there's our third. We got a third user now. So let's give this user. Let's make him an RPS user. Cool. Here we go. And well, we were running into some issues with logins and logouts before, but let's log in as U3 and we'll just see what we can see here. They have rock paper scissors. We'll have these two. We'll have U3 and U2 battle it out. What move? Well, they'll play rock. All right. So U3 playing U2. U3 played rock. We don't know what U2 played yet. So let's log out as U3. We're going to have this happen every time because of. I think I might just open a new window and have U3 and U2 and U3 in different windows because this will get a little nuts. In fact, let's see if we can do that real quick. I'm gonna grab this. We'll do incognito window here. So from incognito, I'm gonna set up U3 with an extremely sensitive password. Fun fact, I was not actually born in Rochester, but that's the closest city to where I live, so we'll go with that. Okay, cool. So there's U3. I'm going to move this off screen up here, and then we'll just try to kind of go back and forth. Should we just do U2 while we're at it? Probably. Let's reset U2 user. We'll put that in a different window also. Let's reset that user's password. And hopefully we get that over here too. cool. Let's get another incognito. We'll do this. Okay. We got user 2 here as well. So hopefully we don't get lost in the sauce here, or at least don't get lost in the login logout mania. This is user 2. They are currently playing user 3. We don't know what user 3 has played yet. We want to have user 2 make a play. How do we do that? I think we can use the same... I want to use the same rematch feature here, where you can start up a new game, to have that UX down here. So you just pick one of these, and that'll be the play. So let's do that, I guess, right? Okay. Where do we do that? Let's start on the... so arena games are each of our rows, and that button is something. Feels like we need to, maybe the rematch component here isn't really a component, it's a set of components, but we could probably turn it into its own component, so it might be easier to reuse. Because that's going to be where? That looks like that column is current player move icon. So here is where we want that to appear. I'm going to grab a chair. Let's see. Did I just get shorter? A little bit. There we go. Let's adjust this a little. I have a standing desk, but I can't stand all day. I'm getting old, people. All right, so we want to, this is the current player move icon, and right now that doesn't have anything displayed. If the move is being awaited, if the system needs a move from the current player, we need some way to say that, show that here. And I'd like to use the same function here to, or the same look. So, for example, when I, whoops, oh wait. Now that we have lots of screens, it's going to be fun to keep track of who's where. I want the same look when I want to do a rematch. Have this work down there. So how do we do that? Current player move icon. This should only display when the game is over. So do we have a status for the game as we're... So we have outcomes. All right, so we have an outcome parameter, or an outcome property, and if that, it just kind of does some string manipulation. So we could have. I'm actually going to put this down a little further. Magic. Okay, I'm going to move the mic. Can y'all see the mic? It's like right here. Right there. hiding? This mic gonna boom here in my face. Okay, we have outcome. So now we want, I think we want some properties like is complete, or well, we do, outcome is, or status, I should say. So outcome is something that we generated, and then status is what comes back with the game. So I think we could say if we have a is complete, let's say is game complete status. And this will return if this equals completed. Okay, now we can use that over here for some logic. Oops, is game complete? Tough time typing today. What did I just do? Did I get all that right? Nope, I forgot this. That's better. Okay, let's confirm that this is where we are. We're barking up the right tree here. So if this game is not complete, show stuff here. Okay. Oh, let's see. Hey, TW Karumba. Hello. Nice to see you. He asks in the chat, will we consider packaging RPS? And if so, are you licensing it per org or per user per month? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what the market is for RPS, but I guess it's worth a wonder. And I don't know if we would really charge a whole lot for it, or if I could, if I could charge people to show up to the stream and subscribe, that would be payment. That would be payment enough. But it is an open source library. Right now, I guess if somebody wanted to take it and run with it, they could. But it's it's an interesting question. Maybe we will look at doing. It would actually be interesting to do like take something through the packaging process at Salesforce on the show, just to be able to share that experience and process it with other people. But name your price, man. I'll we'll make a package, and if I can make a couple bucks a month on rock paper scissors, I won't say no. Knowing obviously the process takes a little bit of work to get there. Oh, all right, let's see. Did that work? Are we looking at? Okay, I'm not sure. Let's see. If true is game complete. If false is game complete. Did something? How can you be true and false at the same time? Let's make sure we're actually. I was running into an issue where stuff wasn't actually saving to my Salesforce instance. So are we actually saving here? The next trick will be to just output is game complete and see if it gives us something. Well, it says it posted it. So very strange. Okay, let's just output is game complete because it should show something. And if this doesn't work, we got a little bit of a problem. I ran into this in another scratch org. I can't remember what I was doing, but stuff was just not deploying. I hope that's not the case here, but unless I'm in some logic block that's way out in left field, we might need to drop this and recreate it in a new scratch org, which is fine. But that's going to take a second. Let me try one other thing here. Page caching could maybe be the issue. There we go. Okay. 10 points for the 10 points to chat for telling me what to do there. Thank you. All hope is not lost, and we are working the way that we should. So let's clean up the mess that I just made. And let's see. We are seeing what we should see here. So we're going to show stuff there. I'm going to steal this. See if it just not very fancy, but we're going to drop it right into the drop it right in as is. Well, that's taking a second. Going to cancel that. Try it again. Oh boy. There we go. Okay. All right, good. So we got 2 pending games here. So now we at least have the UI to let the player pick. I guess we could take the X off of there. Still forgot to save my test stuff. Huh, that's really interesting though. I thought I did remove that. There's some caching funnery going on in the going on out here today. I've never had this kind of delay before. All right, well, let's take out the. We don't really need a cancel function here. Each of these should. Let's see, unclick. This is submit. Submit move, I guess. We'll say. All right. Okay, no more cancel. So I got my 3 options here. Whatever we click, we're going to submit a move for. And I'm just going to kind of follow the rematch pattern here. So we'll do this. And I think move name, we're passing that in still. Yep. It's a rematch without the re. All right, so we've got our move, and then, because I think we do actually need the move. Let's go back in as our admin. And let's check this game between U2 and U3. We should have data or records in place already. Yep, we have 2. Wait, that's not the game we're looking at. I think we're at game 10. Yep. So I'm cheating. I'm an admin. I can see everything. I could totally sabotage this game if I wanted to. Maybe we'll try to figure that out one of these days. Let's see. U3 played. We know that they played. They played rock. So what I need is to have the the U2 player move updated. So this record here needs to have a move applied to it. Do we have that? Do we know what that record is at this point in our UI? We may not. But I could find it because I know the game, I know the player, and I know the move that they want to make. So, and I believe all we need to do is update player move, and then flow magic will happen behind that. Let me confirm that. So I think player move, after created or updated, should do the heavy lifting for us. This is a little crazy, but when a player move comes in, it evaluates itself and it evaluates the other move to determine what the outcomes need to be. So we should be able to update player move, have all of this logic play out, and then ultimately the winner of the game gets determined. So what we really need is some way to target this player move. We're going to pass in the move that we have that data. We're seeing that. Whoops. We're seeing that here. This is the move that we want to play. And we just need to expose a command to do that. So we're doing call create game, which is really just wrapping our Apex command here. I think that's create game, right? Yep. So we're going to need something very similar again. Not getting too fancy here. Just going to shamelessly steal the pattern. We'll call this update player move. So this is the move that we're gonna actually play. We need do we know the player? We know the game and we know the user ID. And probably in here somewhere we know the player. We are returning player here. Where do we get that? Oh, right. This is within a game, so we got to go up a level to the arena, which is responsible for getting all the. So this is get games by user, and when we get that back, I want to look at that data and see. Let's see, get games by user. Returns a list of game data. And I believe a list of game data return has some player data in it. Let's find that object. Yeah, game data has current player. So, and that's always the current user. So I think Arena Game should know about the game data, which then in turn knows about its current player. So let's see. Yep, this.game.current player. We just need to pass that ID, I'm pretty sure. So our signature for this, or our parameters for this, are going to be, we need the game. Oh, we have that. we do game data. It's game ID. All right, so this dot game, where are you? This dot game ID, and then this dot game dot. Well, really, we don't even need to pass the game. If we know the player, ID. I don't think they're always tied to a game. So we could just do player dot player ID, game dot current player dot player ID, and then this dot game dot move. Well, we just want move here. So our move. Let's see. Find move by name. Let's just make sure what we're returning there. Moves is all of our. I think we pass the moves in. Yep. So from the arena, we pass in the moves. So the whole arena is responsible for getting the moves for us. So get moves is returning what? List of moves. Okay, so those are just objects. So we can down here say, where'd you go? It's probably going to be a laugh track of me just saying, where'd you go, where'd you go, where'd you go someday. All right, call, submit move, player update move. We need the move ID, and let's see, was I just updating the wrong thing here? I feel like I was. Yeah, create game that's where I was. Do not want to mess with that. Update player move. This is going to be this dot game dot current player dot player ID. So we'll pass the player and we'll pass the move, and that should let us update our game. Well, let's find out. I'm not going to do anything fancy just yet. We'll okay. That is our admin user. This is our end user. We should be able to click on one of these and walk it through. Oh wait, so we don't actually have a command. We're not actually. Well, let's at least take it this far and see if we're getting the data that we expect. So this is. Man, this caching is going to kill me. Thought I had these users set up for Lightning debug, but doesn't seem to care. Make sure I'm looking at the right code here, because I'm looking for submit move. There we are. Okay. So we'll do the U2 versus U3. I'm pretty sure U2 played rock. So we'll have U3, or U3 played rock, so we'll have U3 play scissors. Okay, we pass scissors through. And did something blow up? Find move by name was not happy about that. That's odd. Let's look at that again. This is still here. I don't know. Scissors. Okay. Scissors. Find move by name. Go into my other call. All right. Moves. Step through this. Element.name. What are you? Okay, there you are. You're definitely a thing, so we're just doing some string matching here, and it should return something. So we're looking at rock. That does not match. Now we're looking at scissors. That does match, so we should return that element. We have our move. I think it just blew up because it went to the next step, and call player move definitely does not, or call update player move. It does it. Well, it does exist, but we're not passing in the right stuff. But we do have our player ID. Let's make sure that's right. We have a move ID. Okay, so back over here, our player move that we're looking for is this record. A04, say QAY. A04 QAY. Okay, so we're passing in the right player record. And we're passing in, I think, the right move. I can double check that, but I think we ended up with scissors here. So now we're gotta do some work in the next step. So far so good. And let's update player move. Let's update player move, and we're going to need that call over here. I was doing a lot of messing around with some more structured data transformation objects here. I don't think I'm going to get quite that fancy with what we're about to do, but maybe we'll refactor it at some point. But for right now, we just need to, let's see, this is update player move. And what are we passing? We're passing two IDs. We're passing the player ID. And we're passing the move ID. Okay. All right, so we need to locate the, actually, we can just create a new, let's see, we have the player. We just need to get their move record, so there should only ever be one. This is our player. There should only ever be one move record associated with the player, and as that user, they should have access to it based on the sharing that's in place. So there's our player move, and then we just want to say player move dot move equals move ID, and we'll update that player move. I feel like we should return something here. I just don't really know what. I'm just gonna say void for now. So we could probably return at least a Boolean or something to let the UI know that it's successful. Okay, so that's update player move, and back here in our game, got two parameters to pass in, player ID and move ID. Okay. Don't need any of this. Now we're gonna have to do some stuff once this game is over. We have to basically kind of repaint the UI so it knows that something happened. Passing two things in here now. Okay. So we're passing in the player ID and the move ID, and we should update our player move record. Let's find out. That's our admin view. Too many screens. There we go. All right, hold on a second. This is driving me nuts. This did this just not save? There. Okay. My test nonsense is going away. All right, so we should be able to pick scissors here. We're not going to get a lot of feedback here, but we can go check the record. Find our move. Passing in a player and a move. And this should update. Create game complete. Well, we didn't update our debug info, but we should now see that this player move. Aha! It did. Magic happened. Magic happened. Player move was populated with scissors. And if I go up to the player, scissors was, this is redundant for some security reasons, but they are, player U2 is the loser in this game, and the game is now completed. So if I go back to the arena, who am I? Oh, no, that's admin. Don't look at that. I refresh here. I lose. U2 yields to U3. U2 played scissors. I wonder if it's easier to maybe put the icon, like have this say U2 scissors defeated by Tom Petros rock. That might be easier to read. I like the width, but it's hard to, okay, U2 That's me. I played scissors. You three played rock. It's kind of hard to mentally look across there and see all that. So maybe we'll combine those. But hey, it worked. Cool. Now, what will we need to do to update the UI to know the outcome? That's kind of important. So we don't have to refresh. We would need the game to kind of report back. Maybe in that outcome, the game could report back its game data, basically. So we would, we have a call that we use to get data by user. Get games by user. I'd like to be able to get game by ID. I've got that here. So it would be great if we tapped into do everything that get games by user is doing just for one game. Yeah, so we would just pass in players where game equals game ID. It can do all the same stuff. Probably can clean up a few things here. And then it would just return one game data for that. So, yeah, let's do that. So if it can just return the game data, hopefully, let's see, we can then tell Arena Game, because when we pass these in, wait, so the question is, though, I think we need to tell the Arena that, hey, this game is over. Then the Arena needs to go back and get the game. Arguably, in Lazy Town, could just have it go get all the games again, and output them. It'd be a little more efficient if we could have this report that outcome and say, just go get the game data for this one game. In a future where there's lots of games, that performance could become an issue. But for now, I think we could be a little lazy just to get it started, knowing that we've got some optimization to do there. So we want to say we need to report up. We need to report up to the Arena that there's that something has finished. So we have on new game. We have that method. So let's say on finish game. And we'll say handle finish game. We are in the middle of a snowstorm here. I'm going to take a look outside and see what's going on. Our kids had the day off from school, and the snow didn't really start till about an hour ago. But we are supposed to get something here. Let's see, what's the weatherman say? It hasn't been as bad as they predicted, but it's coming. It's coming for us. It's been weird, like the around our town, like the radar keeps opening up. So like snow, snow, snow all around, and then not here. It goes around us, and then more comes in behind it. But we've got lucky. Excuse me. If lucky is not getting snow, then we've been lucky. But if lucky is not getting snow, or if lucky is getting snow, then we have not been lucky. Does that make any sense? Anyway, let's write some code. Let's see. On finish game, we'll handle finish game. And what does our component do? Let's see, on new game. So here's the event for okay, we could do the best of both worlds here. We could have our game. Let me rephrase that. We could have our update player move return game data, right? Because we should go if we get the game data here, we can pass it back up to the arena and then have the arena repaint with the appropriate outcome. And then the arena doesn't have to go get everything all at the same time. Arguable where that responsibility should lie. I'm about to say that a game is responsible for getting its own, or has a mechanism to get its own data. I think I'm okay with that for now until the world changes, one step at a time. So we're going to, in order to do that, we need get game by ID, and it needs to function a lot like get games by user. Only difference is I'm not going to pass a get game request for now. I think I'm just going to pass the game ID. So I'm going to steal all of this. I think it's going to look a lot alike. So get game by ID. We'll take this extra stuff out. Yeah, we're passing a game ID. So we still need our we still need to structure this with all the other, with 2 players and all that stuff, but we just need one game. So we'll say where game equals game ID. Okay, we don't really need to do an order by, I guess, in that case. Actually, we don't even need to make that first call. We're just going to get our players based on our one game ID that's coming in. We used to have to do that to get all the games. And we still need to do that. We need to do that in the other call. Our game data is just one of these now. Oops. Game data equals new game data. Okay. And we'll still loop through our players. That's what we have to do. We have to determine which player is which. And we'll see, for all this to work, I might as well. Well, no. We can, let's see, init. Let's do this. Game data. Bloop. And then we're only going to run through this twice. So game data equals init game data. and return game data. So that should get us what we need. Oops. Oh, right. Return. Now we actually need the game ID here, so I'm going to piggyback off of player move, and we can get it there. Player move.player.game. So the result there should be, I'm going to start a new game because it's rolling back all this data. It just doesn't make sense. But the net effect here should be we update the game, we update the player move, and then we that causes the game to complete. Then we get that game data back, and that's going to be the result here in our code. So this is going to say let game data equal await, and then I had to do something funky here. I can't remember why. I was just looking to create game. There's like some fun. Oh, no. We were just making a copy. We were just cloning the previous game. So it shouldn't need to do that, I don't think. I'm going to keep that in case I need to reference it later. So now we're doing a finish game. And let's call this finish game data, just so we kind of know that's what we're kind of getting back. And that would be finish game data there. So then up in our, I have a puppy who wants to hang out in the office. 1 second. There we go. Yes. You're not going to fit up here. Oh, you're going to go for it? Okay. All right, so the puppy's going to hang out too now. There we go. Instant views, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Okay. Hello. You're adorable. Yes, the world wants to see you. Mm-hmm. Little moment of zen. Oh, you got the hiccups, huh? Yeah, that's okay. It'll be okay. Can I put you down now? What do you think? I'm gonna put you down. Here we go. Oh, wait, no. Little grunt. Here, let's get that cable out of your seat. There you go. Or do you want to get up there? Yeah, no big deal. It's just a show. Yeah, what does it matter? Up you go. Here you go. Up there. All right. Guess we need a dog cam. Okay, we have our finished game data. We're passing that up to our handle finish game. So what we need to do here is what? Handle new game was pushing our game to the top of pushing a rematch basically to the top of the list. Handle finish game needs to find and replace the game at a certain index within game. So we have to find how do we find the index? There's got to be something we can use for that, right? Rattle my shake off the JavaScript cobwebs here. JavaScript array find index. Find index. Find index. Okay. First match. Yep. Okay. Light bulb. So let's within games. So it returns the index. All right, let's see. Let game index equal this dot games dot find index, and syntax is gonna escape me here. So element, I think that's right. So game, what do we need the game ID, right? So return element dot game ID equals e dot detail dot, whoops, game ID, okay. And then if game index is greater than -1, then we're going to say this dot games game index equals e dot detail, I think. Did I get that right? So we're going to find the index based on this. And if the if their game IDs are the same, then we will return that index, and then we'll replace that index with this data. So sounds good to me. Let's find out how we're doing. That feels more efficient than saying, "Hey, Arena, go get all the data again," and parse it back out. So. All right, let's see here. We've got that. So now we need a new game. Let's have you three pick another fight with you two. Oh, this is you two. All right, we'll have them pick a fight with you three. So you three, begin. You two plays paper. I gotta switch it up or I'm gonna get real lost. All right, that finish. Okay, so pending here. So you were waiting on you. Oh, wait a minute. This is not good. Right. Yep. We are. That's okay. Our status. It's the wrong status. Because we updated our status to check here to say, hey, the current user should be able to pick their playwright from here, but I'm in as U2. I've already played. I should just see my play. So we gotta figure out the logic puzzle here. It's not necessarily game complete. It's if the current player's move is complete. So how do we do that? Let's see. What can we use for that? So this .game.player.status, what does that look like? This is really more like, is current player move complete, right? So we need something like, which I think we're going to get out of the current player's status, but we got to backtrack into what that looks like. The status just gets, I think as we're constructing game data here in the API, the status just comes back from the player's status, which if I look at our newest game, I think that's 12. Yeah, that looks about right. So this player's status is played. Okay, so if it's played, what are our options there? Let's check that. I just want to double check the status options for player records. Basically, if the status is not pending, then the player has played. I think that's what we can live with there. So let's see. Player.status. Back over here. This player.status, might as well do a 2 uppercase just to be consistent. If it doesn't equal pending, that means they've played, right? So the whole intent there is, do I show the option to select, or do I show what they have played? And I think this will do that now. So let's try that. Then hopefully here on U2, because they've already played, they've made their play here, this should just show, what did they pick? I think paper. So if I refresh this, I should get paper. Okay, cool. So I think we solved that. We might not need that other parameter now. This is game complete. I'm going to leave it, probably forget about it and wonder what it's supposed to do in a little while. But we know that that's paper. Now if I go over to, I think this is player 3. This is 2. Wait a second. We have 2 U2s here. I thought I was logged in as you. Oh, is that because Okay, that's U2. Waiting on U3. I'm gonna, let's log out of here. Are my incognito windows like working as a pair here? They are. Darn it. That's no fun. Okay, well let's log in as, I can't remember their usernames now. So we still have to log in as, we'll have to log in and out as user 3, but okay, so now it's U3's turn, because I'm in as U3, right? Yep, I'm in as U3. U3 confronts U2. I have my options. I know U2 played. All right, we got to get some debug set up here, or we're going to, so we can capture this stuff. So here at, that looks weird, doesn't it? Why is it doing that? Huh. That looks really weird. Do we have breakpoints? It is marking breakpoints, so I guess that's good. We want to see, this does not look right. Why does that? Oh, because I don't think this user is, I don't think U3 has debugging enabled. So let's do that real quick. Enable. Boop. That might look a little better now. Because that doesn't make any sense. And we'll go to our game. Create. Here we go. So that's what we're after. We're not after these. Okay. U3 is ready to fight. U2. U2 picked paper. So I'm going to pick scissor. And got our player and our move. And I'm hoping to get finish game data back. Go. And I did get finish game data back. And let's see. Current player is the winner because I played scissors. Opponent is the loser because they played paper. Okay, status completed. Everything's done. This data represents the done game. Now, I'm going to follow my handler here and see if this handle finish game thing actually works out. So we've got our finish game data here, and we're going to... okay, we're there. So we got our stuff. I'm gonna step through each of the indexes here and see if they match. Game ID, that's not the one. QAE, that is the one. So we should get our game index from there. So our game index is 1. That makes sense because this is the one that was in the UI. That's the one we just finished. So now we're going to change game index 1 to our detail data. And let's see what happens. Boop. Yes, it worked. Got it. All right, cool. Refresh and make sure the data actually survives. It did. Groovy. Groovy. So our game component tells the arena how it ended, essentially, and then the arena gets all the data at the onset. So now let's watch that in like real time, because it should be. I mean, it'll be as instant as. I'm actually curious how it responds on screen to the between the time of clicking the button and the change occurring. We may need to do a little sort of waiting mode for that to, and we may even need to add waiting mode because we just need some dramatic effect. I mean, right? Like, you can't just immediately tell somebody that you won. You got to draw it out. Got to have a commercial break. Got to have all that. Okay, so let's start a new game, U3 versus U2. And U3 is going to play rock. U2 plays rock. U3 plays rock, sorry. All right. There's our new game. Now I'm going to log out of here. And I'm going to log in as our other person here. I really should come up with better usernames. Man, now that we've got a game that's actually working, we're gonna have to have some people come in here and play, I think. All right, here comes U2. I don't want to register my phone. U2, March 14th, battles U3. This is the game. This is the one that we just created. I can't remember what the other player played. Rock, I think. So let's play. U2's having a really tough time winning here. So also this February 28th game, I think, is just completely. Oh no, it's waiting on. I'm sorry, it's waiting on Tom Petros. I wonder if we need a different. maybe we need a different view for that one just seems really mixed up. Maybe it's mixed up because it's old data. I don't know. I'm gonna let it go. We'll kind of ignore that one for right now. Anyway, so here we are. Let's pick paper for U2 playing U3, who I think played rock. Oh yeah, look at that. I like that. On one hand, I like that it happens so fast. On the other hand, I feel like we need some dramatic effect. Like I may literally just put a stupid timer, a debounce, if you will, on the button. Excuse me. So it doesn't send that immediately, but it works. So that's cool. Now we haven't done rematch in a while, so U2 beat U3. Now U2 should be able to start a new match from right here. And that looks like a mess. Wow, okay. Something went wrong. So let's refresh that and see if it's just the data that came back. That's all it is. It's the data that came back. And I think that unshift that we're doing, I wonder if it makes more sense to have it. I guess it really makes sense to sort this in the other direction, right? Like, should the games, do you want your newest game on the top? Seems like that would make more sense, right? So maybe let's swap the sort or the sort direction here, which is going to be, I think, here at the API. And when we get games by user, we're really just ordering by the game ID, which the IDs are, given the nature of a Salesforce ID, you can, sorting by ID is the same as sorting by created date, if I recall correctly. So I think we can just do a sort order by game descending here. And then we'll get the stuff in the direction that makes more sense. Newer at the top seems to make sense in this view. Yeah, I think that makes sense. All right, so the yellow kind of means like waiting, but I think the same yellow for both, like U2 is waiting and they can't do anything, whereas when U3 comes in, they need to take action. So I wonder how we, what's the right color for taking action? Maybe something like blue. Maybe we just need one more color out here to say, "Yo, go do this." Or we make this, if this yellow is maybe gray for this user, and we use the yellow for the yellow as an indicator to take action, and maybe instead of 3 dots, it's like an exclamation point, so they know that they have to take action. I think this is all just happening through CSS. This is, let's see. Yeah, so each game, this is pending. And then the next one is win. So this is pending. This other one is pending, but it's not their action, right? So pending right now we're using in 2 directions, and we would need to have we need a, like a, there's a pending and there's a waiting, right? So waiting is more like this user is done and they don't have any action to take, versus pending, which is you, user, need to do something. So let's see if we can untangle that. because that's just status, I think, that we're rendering out there. Yeah, so class equals container style. So let's see, container style, outcome, right? Here, I think we could say if if the current player is pending, right, then so the current player is pending, then return pending. Otherwise, we're going to add a new one called waiting, I think. Because the game will be in a pending status, and the player could be in a pending status, which means, take a move, please. As soon as a player makes a move, their statuses change, right? So our statuses become, right, played, win or lose or tie. So in any of those cases, I don't need, I have made my move. So we'll go with waiting, and then where do we change? I think just in the CSS over here. So we got win, lose, pending. We're going to replicate waiting. I don't think these colors are going to be right, but we'll just pick a few for right now. Okay, win, lose, pending. Take this. Swap a bunch of stuff around here. Waiting, waiting, waiting. And okay, that's saved. And get that to save. And then, so now we should. All right, this is YouTube played their move. So do we get the waiting status now? We don't. Let's see why. So still thinks that's pending. Do we need to... Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. We're looking like something. And it does make sense that this top one is also a waiting on. But we're missing a few things here. So let's see. We're missing our labels, for one thing, which is kind of weird. I think there must be some logic for pending versus waiting there. Let's take a look. That's got to be the issue with the labels. It's probably looking for a status. There's one label. Where's the other label? Outcome badge label. So let's see, what does outcome badge label do? we probably can come up with a sillier dictionary of terms for weighting status. Let's see, VS word. Yeah, we can come up with some other stuff for that, but for right now, we're good. And then the same thing for the icon. So what is... I think it can still be 3 dots for weighting. We just might want something different now for... like I want an exclamation point or something for the other status. For the pending status. Someone needs to take action. All right. That looks good. That's a little light. We need a little more contrast. There's probably official colors. I tried to pull the colors right from the SLDS for everything else here. This looks like a Christmas tree now. But we'll find some legit colors. Let's take a look at the SLDS icons. We have a utility exclamation point. I feel like that would be... we could use that. Probably should search, huh? Exclamation X. Oh, really? Alert? Priority? Maybe that's a good one. Warning. Danger. Priority. Priority might be the right one. Urgent? Like a thesaurus. Here. I'm gonna flow through this again. Apex plugin is not the right one. Electricity. Fallback. That's weird. That means fallback. I might go with well, play, right? Play might be like I want one of these, but an exclamation point. Thunder. Hammer. Yeah. 3 dots. No, there's so many. Let's go with the flag. We'll go with priority right now. We can change it a million times if we need to. But where was that? Priority? I think that's what it was called. Priority. Yeah. Cool. Let's take that one. Go with that. And how'd we do? Well, okay. Let's switch over to our other friend here, Mr. U3, who has some work to do. So we'll log out of here. There we go. I think I'm good with that. That's fine for now. It's funny because that could also be like a white flag, like surrender, but we'll go with this. I kind of like it. I got to stare at it for a little bit, see if it works for me. All right, let's play this game out. I forget what it was. Boop. Take out my debugs. I'm being brave. Uh-oh. Of course, at the time that we tried it without debug, it didn't work. Huh. What's going on? Better bring our debugger back. All right, let's see here. Things are going so well. Update player move. Finish game data. All right, well, finish game data is not coming back happy. So is it here? List has no rows for assignment. That's weird. Update player move, line 30. Let's see, what are we missing? Oh, I think we have an access. Well, do we have an access issue? Well, let's see. Let's do this again. Step it through. We might have an issue. Let's see here. All right, I bet we're either missing a player ID or a move ID here. Let's see. So I'll play something. Our player, no, we have both of those. So let's see. This is the player ID. I want to hang on to both of these, and then we can log into the. Okay, let's see. I'm wondering if the fact that if it's not returning a record here, it's possible that this user can't access their player move. So let's let this blow up again. All right, so nothing's coming back. So we're in as U3. Let's open up player records here. They can see all the players. That makes sense. This, I'm pretty sure, is their player. That's the latest game. So, yeah, they can't see this. This is the problem. They can see the player, they can see the move, but they can't see their player move record. And that's because we have I think we have a permission that we need to grant elsewhere to make that happen. I think that's in a flow. So the reason the player that initiates the game does have access, but it's curious because I think we were able to this worked in the other direction. So why did it work in the other direction but not here? Anyway, it clearly isn't working. So let's look at this particular player move, or this player record, because this player move record should be here. Let's see what the sharing looks like on it. See, U2 has full access to that record, which is not good. they should only have access to their player record or player move record. Oops, let's go back here. This is U3, right? This person should not have. Let's go up to the game. Player U2, their player move record, they should have full access to. They're the owner of the record, so we need to swap the owner of the. That's what we need to do. We need to change the owner of those records to be. Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by. TW Karumba. Why is it so hard to say screen names? I feel like I immediately forget how to read when I. But thanks for coming by, and thanks for the help. Everyone can thank TW Karumba for getting me past the caching issues that we were having. So hopefully see you next time, man. Let's see. Okay, we need to update our flow. Flow. I think this happens all the way back when the game is created. Let's see. Let's check there. So create the game, create the player, update the player, create the player move. Now, player move is, hold on, I think we actually have to, I think we have to do this at the player level, because I believe player move is master detail, right? Oops. Let's see, player move. No, it's not. It has its own owner. So that's okay. That's fine. So player move. That one we don't have to do anything with. The opponent player move. What is this little thing here? Oh, I see. Here, I think, is where we need to make the owner ID. The opponent. Where do I get my opponent user? Let's see. We have to backtrack to create opponent and figure out how we. Let's create game request opponent user ID. Okay, so we need to change this. Owner ID equals create game request opponent user ID. Apex defined variable. There you go. Okay, that should fix everything. Let's see. That's activated now. Probably best if we just do a brand new game. Well, I guess I don't need to do a brand new game. I can. We should do a brand new game, but we should take. Let's go back up to this game. Take U3. Player move. Let's edit the sharing here. Let's give U3 read write on this record. Oops. And sharing hierarchy. Yeah, it's the owner of that record. So we can make this easier actually. We'll just change this to U3. Okay, so now when U3 comes back in, yep, here, now this should work. There it goes. Cool. All right, and then hopefully for a new game, test this out in a second. Ooh. We'll have U3 start a game with U2, and then they also shouldn't have the issue. Rock. That sort looks really weird. I would have expected that game, or that to be on top. That's really weird. Huh. Maybe our sort is off, actually. All right. Let's log off of... Oh, yeah, we need to also adjust. I think the rematch logic is looking at pending also instead of waiting. So either way, let's log off of U3. We'll log in as U2. Here we are. Yeah, why isn't that popping at the top? That's really weird. Huh. Did I undo something? It just seems super weird. Maybe the ID isn't sorting as I had expected. I was always under the impression that the ID is a serial number, and if you sort by it, you're going to get the newest or the oldest, depending on which direction you're sorting. So maybe that's not true. Okay, well, either way, you two, we are. Oh, excuse me. Bump. It was a tie. Okay, so here, I guess this is the other thing, right? Like tie looks a lot like waiting now. So maybe waiting should be blue or something. But that does look, tie makes sense. And then I could rematch here. Pops up on top. I think there's a lot of setting stuff here that's a little bit off. So, but hey, we're doing good. We're doing good. So we still have some state to manage on each of these ties, and waiting on our a brand new waiting on. I think there's just status fields that we have to adjust the logic around. But we have games now. I think we could also. This flow was first created just to build it with a flow. But I don't know if I honestly don't think it looks as nice as if we just had a way to start a new game from directly within the UI, just kind of like these all look. So maybe we'll do some work there. I also wonder, I might I probably should write this stuff down, right? Like make a little backlog for ourselves. Who knew? Boop. Let's see. I feel like we have a README. We have a backlog. Boy, it's been a minute since we looked at this. What is surfacing for us now is check sort on arena view. I think I'm going to move date to far left. I want to move icons next to usernames. Let's see, a rematch equals missing data in UI, which is probably a function of status values. And should we use blue for, let's see, tie and waiting look the same? Should we use blue for something, perhaps? Maybe. And yeah. Beyond that, we only got a few things to fix. What else was out here? Create RPS user permission set. We did do that. I'm gonna get rid of that. LWC for Arena, we did that. Tournament play, yes, but that's going to take a hot second. Oops. So tournament play someday maybe. Expand new game flow, not always end user initiated. Private games, share with players. I think that's probably a security or a sharing rule situation where we just may not be sharing appropriately. RPS settings panel. I don't remember what that was. Choose visibility on the game. Yeah, maybe that kind of goes with private games. Put those together. Taunt your opponent. Totally. Rematch only once per game. I guess we have to see if that is a thing or not. We are showing a UI for a rematch. And child to parent event for create game data. Yes, we did that also. I did that a while back. Okay. Well, I'm going to stop it there. I think we're not a little early, but we can wrap there before diving into any new heavy functionality. I'm going to make a clip for data weave and the Apex performance stuff, and then we'll make a longer clip for RPS build. And I think next week I'm going to try to see if we can recap some Trailblazer DX stuff, what was cool that came out of that, and maybe do some experiments if we can find them. And I think we'll probably keep building some rock, paper, scissors next week again too. So I'll leave it there and try to, I guess I'm going to go get a shovel because it seems like the snow is starting to kick in here in upstate New York. So thanks to all that hung out, and we'll get some updates out and see everybody next week. Take care. I'm Tom, and you can't do that on Salesforce.